Hi everybody, Supercross Live here on supercrossonline.com, fueled by Monster Energy. I'm Kevin Barnett with Jim Holley. Jim, round 6 here in San Diego. Going to be a great night of racing. We're just getting the day started, a little bit cloudy. The track looks good. Let's start out with the Supercross Lights class, West Regional, last event. Question for me is, can anybody stop Eli Tomac? He's on a 3-race winning streak.
The only guy that's going to stop Eli Tomac, Kevin, is the starts. That's where he struggled out in the beginning of the season, but he seems to put himself in a good position. You know, he's collecting checks and for that whole shot and picking up $1,000 from Nuclear Cowboys. It's the starts. If Eli gets the starts, I think tonight here in San Diego, you can have 4 in a row for Eli Tomac.
It doesn't seem like anyone else is in as good a rhythm with their bike in that class like Tomac is, but I think about the other contenders. Seeley has rode very well. He's fallen down a couple of times, even on his own last week in Anaheim, but I look at Marvin Musquin. He's had a great ride the last few rides, been on the podium. He seems like a guy who's climbing up there. Who do you think can really challenge Eli?
I'd have to say Dean Wilson, the man who runs that number 15 for the Monster Energy Pro Circuit Kawasaki team. Wilson has a win this year, but unfortunately he got off in Oakland, and I think he's still feeling the effects. I know for a fact that he was last weekend in Anaheim. Hopefully this week is going to go a little better, but he's got to stop the bleeding, and what I mean by that is Tomac's got a big point lead on him. I believe it's 22 points. So before they go to break, you mentioned that break, that's all the way until the end of April before Seattle. These guys have a long hiatus before they get back out on the track. But you'd mentioned Marvin Musquin. I think Marvin is the guy that could possibly come up and get a win. And Seeley, he wins the opener at Anaheim, and he's just had some problems. He let that rear wheel get away from him last week in Anaheim, but I think Seeley can get up there. But I think Seeley's out of the championship, though, because he's had too many bad races. But the man up front, like you said, Eli Tomac, 3 wins in a row. Can he make it here 4 in San Diego?
What's different about Tomac this season? His sophomore campaign, he could very easily be the defending champion. That last race, he was definitely in it last year in Vegas. What's different about him in this sophomore campaign? Did he find some speed on the 450 when he did the Monster Energy Cup? Has he just been increasing his abilities, his stamina? What is it that you see that's different that's having such success?
Well, he's got a good base. I mean, he's riding for a great team. His dad, John Tomac, a bicycle champion, mountain bike, so he's in good shape.
His coach.
And his coach. So he knows that Eli can run that pace the whole 15 laps. And I think he knows that last year that championship got away from him. He just has a confidence about him coming into this season that, he knows, and everybody's chasing Eli Tomac this year.
Yeah, you talk about great rhythm in the Supercross class. It would be Ryan Villopoto. First rider to pick up his 2nd victory of the season. Of course, that has portended good things in the past 9 seasons in a row. The rider to pick up his 2nd victory first has taken the championship. When you look at Villopoto, it just seems like he can go through the field if he needs to. He can put the bike around the berm. He can put it inside. He seems like the man to beat. Do you think he's going to run away with it now, the way the statistics would suggest, or are we going to continue to see the other 3 really push him?
Absolutely not. He's not going to run away with this thing because you mentioned those other 3, and we're talking Chad Reed, Stewart, as well as Dungey. That's too good a talent to run away with this thing, and I think that Villopoto knows that. And you're going to win these races on your best nights. I mean, if you go back to Oakland, when he finished up 3rd, he couldn't get around Reed, and he just said, look, I'm going to have to accept that, and I'll go into Anaheim, and I'll have to show the guys I'm going to be the fastest one in Anaheim. But, Chad Reed, he is the dominant one here in San Diego. If you were a bet man, you'd have to bet on 2-2 Motorsports, Chad Reed, to win here tonight in San Diego, but you never know. Dungey, I'm sure he's tired of the last couple races. He's been off of the box, 4th both times. Look for him to be strong, and look for James Stewart, depending on the injuries that he sustained last weekend with the ribs. I'm sure that he wasn't on the bike at all this week. Probably just took a rest. And a lot of people say, oh, you got to ride during the week, but these guys are in shape. I mean, if they take off 5 days, no bicycling, no riding the motorcycling, they're going to be fine for San Diego. So, I mean, you take all that, and Villopoto, that's a lot of pressure. You mentioned the past 9 seasons, the guy who wins Anaheim and has the first 2 wins of the season end up going on. That's a lot of pressure to ride with, but I'm sure Villopoto's not even thinking about that. He's just thinking about going out there and trying to lay down good laps and trying to win these main events.
Yeah, it seems like Villopoto's almost immune to pressure. You talk about riding for $1 million back in Monster Energy Cup in October. It didn't bother him one bit. Talk about those other guys. James Stewart, of course, health questions. Chad Reed, this is his place. This is his place to be. He's won 6 of his 8 starts here. Of course, the defending champion from last year's event. Amazing run for him. It should be a fantastic ride. Looking forward to seeing the Supercross class. Lots of great action here to come from San Diego. Just the start of the day. We have the track walk coming up. We'll have some rider interviews for you. We'll also have some 2 minutes on the track and also our post show coming up. Jim, it's going to be a great day of racing. Thanks to Monster Energy. We'll see you.